We are officially recording. It is Monday, October 23rd. Team call. Hooray.
Yay.
Um, did you want to start?
Sure, I can. So I wanted to talk just mainly about like the November to Remember.
Yeah.
So we talked last week just about participating as a coach and just kind of jumping into any of these opportunities that we get brought upon us. So there's a lot of just random challenges that we'll see as Beachbody coaches. And one of those is November to Remember. And so that's coming up. It's starting November. I think registration's open now until like November 4th, but you'll want to get registered now.
The 6th.
The 6th, okay. So register now. You just need one partner, and then you're basically just trying to push each other and do better this month. So you get extra prizes. You get, is it a baseball hat that you get
Yes.
for Reaching Success Club as the group of the two of you. And it's just a really good way for you guys to push each other to learn like new habits, new behaviors as a coach, and just kind of hold each other accountable. So you might be struggling. You may have never even hit Success Club before and thinking like, ooh, I don't know if I can kind of hold up a team or like hold someone else up. And it might be kind of scary to like have that responsibility. But the very first Team Cup I ever participated in made such a big difference. Just having that wisdom of somebody else.
Right.
Having that support, being able to like talk about your goals and stuff, it makes a huge difference. So don't hesitate to sign up for November to Remember is what I was going to say, because you're scared. It's because it's going to make a big difference in your business. It's going to like really help you propel. So go ahead.
Yeah, and it almost makes it easier to hit Success Club because you feel inside you like, oh my gosh, my partner's getting these Success Club points. Like I need to do it now, and it kind of pushes you more. And also
Exactly.
November, it's going to be, if you have friends with kids or a lot of mom friends, the Double Time Challenge Pack is worth 3 Success Club points. So you only need to sign 2 people up with it and you're at Success Club.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's going to be like a huge like business builder for you guys this month, is just signing up those Double Time Success Club points.
Anybody you know with kids, like that is perfect. And if you haven't watched the trailer for it yet, you can see it on YouTube. We can post it in the team page too, but it's really cute and really fun. And like, even if you have friends who are like babysitters or nannies, like that's a great thing to do with the kids. So get creative with it.
Yeah, that'll be super fun. And I'm really bummed. They had a trial of it last week, and I had a little kiddo that I was hanging out with, and I just totally forgot to do that. So anytime there's sneak peeks and stuff, try to take advantage of that and like remind yourself. I usually put it on a reminder on my phone, and I forgot to. So
I forgot
to. Yeah. But okay, so that was November to Remember. So that's something that you guys will want to sign up for. There'll be an FAQ for that, which I can post so that you guys can figure out how to sign up for that too. And then what else do you have planned to talk about, Alyssa?
So based like also on getting creative with things and finding new products for people, I have been talking to a lot of people recently who like love their gym routines, which kind of inspired me to talk about this a little bit, because we get so stuck in the mindset of All Access Challenge Pack, and there's really so much more that we can offer our customers. And if somebody really is against working out at home, because some people are, and let's face it, I joined this because I'm really against working out at a gym. Like, it's not comfortable for me, it's not fun. So obviously there's going to be people who feel the opposite, which is totally fine. We can still help them. They can still get plugged into our community of support and get the nutrition side of it with Shakeology, but also it's important to familiarize yourself with our other products, because there's somebody who really likes to lift weights. We have creatine for muscle building. We have Recover, which is BCAAs, which is branched chain amino acids with, I can't even speak, which helps with
good.
which helps with muscle recovery and muscle soreness. So you don't have those days where you wake up super sore and you like want to skip your workout because you're that sore. It helps you recover faster, so you can kill your workout the next day too.
And I was trying to get the visual aids going. Here's Recover.
Perfect. So there's Recover, some different flavors, chocolate and orange.
Right.
Which one are we going to call next?
Okay, so there's Recover, and then I've got Energize right here.
Yep.
That comes in either tubs or packets.
That's the all-natural pre-workout so that you can get more out of your workout. It also enhances your performance so you can push yourself harder and get results faster.
Right. And that one, like if you're going to try a performance line, I would honestly start with the Energize. That one, you will notice like a big jolt. You'll notice like a big difference in your workouts. I would really start with that if you're going to try any of them out.
Yeah. And then we also have Hydrate, which is essentially like a clean version of Gatorade. So it helps you replace your electrolytes naturally without all the sugar and like fake crap in there. And then
that's all I have in my kitchen. I have more examples.
What's the overnight one called?
What's that?
What's the overnight one called?
Recharge.
Recharge. So Recharge is if you have somebody who likes to like go hard at the gym all the time, they drink this before bed and it helps with overnight recovery. So that's someone who has really intense workouts who is at like a pretty high level. So it's good for you guys because you can get them on auto ship and get people getting better results with their already existing gym routines that they love. So you don't have to try and totally convert them. You can meet them where they're at. And then maybe down the road, they see everybody in the group doing their Beachbody On Demand workouts. And they're like, oh, this would be a great supplement for what I'm doing at the gym when I don't feel like driving or it's snowing or whatever. You know, you ease into it, but at least get them started with something. So
exactly.
Don't rule that out.
Yeah. No, I really love that. And like, I feel like I'm able to fit the Beachbody performance line in to those people that are really active, just kind of pretty much like what you were saying. Yeah. I've had people that are like, I will absolutely not talk to you about programs. I won't talk to you about Shakeology. I don't want to hear it. No way. Like, don't even like big red flags.
Yeah.
And then I'll just casually bring up how I love Energize. Like, oh, I'll bring up like my Energize. It's my pre-workout, but I drink it in the middle of the day when I just need a little bit of pick-me-up.
Yeah.
And that way I don't need an energy drink or something like that. And that'll kind of like perk people up. So like, even if they're like anti-Beachbody or they don't want to be sold to, you just sprinkle in what you're doing in your daily life. Yeah. Kind of like what we were talking about in our Facebook posts. You can be like that in public too, where you just talk about this awesome shake that you have, the superfoods. Yeah. You don't have to be super like salesy about it or like try to like sell the all access challenge pack. You can totally meet them where they are and just kind of share what you're doing in your daily life.
Yeah. Bits and pieces, ease into it.
Exactly. It makes so much difference.
Yeah. And also another creative thing that I have been trying that I really like, instead of leading with the all access challenge pack, and then somebody here is like, oh, $160, that seems like a lot. I can't afford that. I've been leading with the all access kickstart challenge pack, which is $205. So then,
oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's the first price they're hearing. So when they give you the price objection, you'd be like, oh, that's all right. I got something just as good for you. And it's just the challenge pack without the 3-day cleanse first. And that's only $160. And then they hear $160 after hearing $205. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's great. I'm in.
Right.
So there's ways you can position it so that it doesn't seem as scary or as intimidating. And so those are the kind of things that we want to play around with and share with each other so that we can see what's working and kind of be able to help people as best we can with that.
Exactly. And like just one little like add on to that.
Yeah.
One thing that I've been doing to help with my price objection too is that I always ask my questions, like to kind of get to know people and what their needs are with their health and with their fitness and with their nutrition and kind of what adds a value to them. And then they'll get to the end and say, how much is it? I'll ask. With all the things that I've listed the Shakeology, the fitness programs, the containers. What would that be worth to you? Like all of this stuff, like I've already talked about like kind of what it means, like what it is. Yeah. What would that be worth to you? I've had people give me numbers like $500, $300.
Right.
And then you can come back and say like, oh my gosh, no, like heck no. Like I would never pay that much. No, I got your back. Like,
yeah.
And it makes such a big difference. They're like, oh, okay, well, I would have thought it would have been way more since you just said all that stuff. But, oh, okay, let's talk. And then you like open the door up right there.
I love that. That is so, so great. Because then you're like, yeah, so you know it's a great deal now because you know what it's worth and that it's all these great things. So this is
exactly. And then that lets you know how much they think the value is too. That kind of puts a gauge on what it's worth to them. If they give you a really high number, it shows you that they're really interested and they see value in this. So
that's true too. Yeah.
Hey, Erin. Let's see. It looks like she's still kind of figuring that out, maybe.
And then did you want to do, we could probably save one of these for next week. But the two other things we had was benefits of hitting Emerald and Success Club every month with like leads and stuff, and then Power Hour examples. We could do them both if you think we have time, or one this week, one next week. Totally up to you.
I'm good either way. We could do one this week.
Okay.
Would you rather talk about Power Hour or Emerald? I guess it doesn't really matter.
What do you think would be more helpful for newer coaches?
Probably Power Hour. Let's talk about that.
Let's do that.
And then we can do Emerald next week. Can you hear us yet, Erin? She's kind of frozen.
She's frozen on mine too.
Okay. We've done kind of halfway, so we're going to just kind of keep talking, and if you can hear us, you can check in when you're
and even what I a really quick post about it, because I think it would be better as a post anyways.
About the
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. Okay, so Power Hour. Power Hour is basically like just the core of our business. It's when we work our business. A lot of times it's broken up throughout the day, and sometimes it's done as an hour. I always prefer when I can do one big chunk of time kind of completely dedicated to my business, like straightforward. It's always more efficient for me. But a lot of times I'm just so busy today. Yeah, it's crazy. But a lot of times I have to break it up. So a lot of times I'm like really busy, and so I break it up into like 10 or 15-minute sections. Mm-hmm. So one of the key parts of that is inviting. So I'll talk about that first, and then you can talk about like another aspect of it if you want. So inviting is like the scariest part of the Power Hour, but it's the most results producing part. So you cannot skip it. So
like we said last week, if you can only do one thing, make sure it's inviting.
Exactly. Inviting is the one spot that you just really cannot not do.
Right.
So I always am kind of scared of this, and I'm always a little bit apprehensive. So I eat my frog and I do the scariest part first. So I get all my invites out of the way in my first 10 minutes. And I always set a clock. I set a timer, because if I don't set a timer, I'll end up getting distracted and checking Facebook or something. And I have like a no Facebook scroll rule during my Power Hour too. So my invites, I usually try to write a list down. I have a notebook of names that I kind of keep track of. And for my invites, I just go one after another. I try to personalize it a little bit, but I'm usually directing it towards one activity. So I invite, 1 week I'm doing all of my coach invites. 1 week I'm doing all my challenge group invites. 1 week I'm doing all my free group, so that you're kind of breaking it up, but you have purpose. So you're not just blindly inviting somebody. And I usually do 10 is pretty much my minimum invite per day. Or per Power Hour. 10 is mine. I usually try to get anywhere from 10 to 20 is kind of what I feel most comfortable with in my business. So that's kind of my main item. I'll usually set my alarm for 10 or 15 minutes and then just bust that out and move on. So, and then I don't know if you want to talk about something else that you do.
Yeah. So, and I would say this has kind of evolved for me and changed for me over time in terms of priority. But I would say right now, and your Power Hour is going to change and evolve as you change and evolve. That's to be expected, and it's actually a great thing. For me, my next most important task that I do every day, besides inviting, is expanding my network, because I want to have more eyes on my posts. I want more people to see my page, because the more people that are seeing my page and interacting with my posts, guess what? That means I now have more people to reach out to invite. So you see how it all goes back to the inviting. So I would recommend sticking to one main platform. So like Instagram is my main platform, and I just copy that content to my Facebook. But all of my interacting and messaging is done on Instagram, and that changes too depending on where I'm getting the more attention. So that's all right to change it, but don't try and do both at the same time, because that's really overwhelming. So for Instagram, what I'll do is whatever hashtags I'm using, I click on them and then it brings me to everybody else using those hashtags. And I'll go through and I'll follow a bunch of people and I'll like all their posts and I'll comment on one or two of them. So that way I'm showing up on their notifications like, Alyssa, 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 Alyssa. So they're like, who is this chick? So then they're coming over to my page and probably liking something or probably following me or whatever. And so once they're on my page, guess what? Now I see their name because they liked my post. They're getting a thank you message. And so my first step of inviting is, hey, thanks for the love on my post today. I really appreciate it. Do you follow me for my Hedgehog Brillo, health and fitness, or something else? That's it. Simple, opens up a conversation. And then that's my first step of inviting. So it kind of ties back into that. So I would say that's my second most important one right now. And I'll usually set a timer for 15 minutes and just go interact on people's pages like crazy for 15 minutes and get as many in as I can.
Yeah, exactly. I think the timer is like the key because it's so easy not to get unfocused. It's so easy to like get distracted in like the news feed and stuff like that.
Right.
The one thing I wanted to say on that too is to end in a question. So one of the key things that Alyssa and I both do when we're conversing with people is that you always end in a question. You make it something that they're going to want to respond to. And then you can mention stuff up in the body of the email, or the message, but you always end in a question because it's going to make them want to respond. And so you have that open door for them.
Yes.
One of the other things that I'll do during my power hour is kind of, I'll try to send invite messages personally for me, and then I'll try to send just connection messages, or I call them hey girl messages.
Yeah.
So I always try to send at least 10 to 50 messages where I'm not inviting them to anything. I'm not addressing really thank yous. I'm not doing any of that. I just want to reach out and say hey. So I want to look on their page. I'll usually pick up people that I either want to invite soon or people that I haven't talked to in a while. And just say, hey, like, hey, girl, I saw that your kids are dressing up as whatever for Halloween. They look super cute, yada, yada, end of the question. Just like, what have you been up to lately? Or, I usually try to ask something specific so that they know I'm, like, really caring about them and reaching out to them.
Right. And they'll look at your page after that.
Yeah, exactly. But I just really try to make sure that I'm really building relationships and I'm not just focusing so much on the business and, like, talking just about Beachbody. Just, like, you want to be a human too. You want to make sure that they know they really do care. So don't be just like, hey, buy my products. Like,
people feel that when you're being fake and just trying to sell them something. So it has to be authentic. You can't be like, oh, I'm supposed to send this girl this message, so I'm going to send it. It doesn't work like that. You have to mean it.
Right. Yep. So let's see. What else is there? Other than that, on my power hour, I really just plan ahead. I have kind of a calendar that I'm going off of, and so I like to just plan my posts for the next day, even if it's just kind of jotting down a couple trends that I want to stick to.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else do you do?
I like hear a quote or like a line in my personal development that I'm reading or listening to. I'll write it in the notes of my phone, and I won't quote it because nobody really gives about a quote, but I will use it as a topic and write about it and why I thought it stood out to me or why it was important or how it was relevant to me, and I'll just use it as a topic idea. So I have a running list of like screenshots of things that I'm reading or listening to pull ideas from when I feel stuck.
Yeah, that's perfect. And personal development is about 10 minutes really minimum of what your power hour or your day should look like. And I honestly don't count my personal development as part of my power hour because my PD is for me. It's for like my mind and my heart. And so I count that as like my me time in the mornings.
Yeah.
But every single one of you, I know we talked about this last week, but every single one of you needs to have some sort of personal development. Mm-hmm. I use YouTube videos, I use podcasts, I use things that I can listen to in the car so that I'm not just listening to music. Books on tape, like anything. But you need something that you're doing every single day that's speaking to your soul, something that's like setting your soul on fire.
Right. Something where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm worth it. I can do this. I'm going to go out and rule the world.
Right. Exactly.
And you and I have a conversation too, that like when we have times where we're not doing personal development, like our personal lives suffer, our work lives suffer, our business, Beachbody life suffers. Like we just feel out of whack. We don't feel like ourselves. So it's important outside of the business too. It's important just for you as a person.
Yeah, it really is. And I try to make a point to go back and forth every other one, where I'll do one that's focused on like business mindset and like that kind of thing. And then I'll do one that's just focused on like something that I need to work on personally.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't always have to be something that's going to grow your business, but I try to do every other one just for me so that I have a little bit of balance.
Right. Or like what you're going through in life at that moment. If you feel good enough about yourself to focus on business, then do the business. But if you feel like
right.
you're so overwhelmed, you can't even focus on your business, that's when you're like, okay, I need to do this for me right now. And just not
100%
development, but personal development.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It makes all the difference.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Yeah, so I was taking notes as we were going through that. I'm going to put together just like a quick frame of all the Power Hour stuff that we talked about, so that we can look at it quick and see. And I'll do the benefits of Emerald and Success Club. So
okay, perfect. And then I do know that in the files, there's a couple different types of Power Hour checklists. Oh, yeah. So if you guys are just kind of curious, like what it looks like, I know there's a couple different examples formatted in the files. So
I'll make a
comment
on them so it shows up on the newsfeed in our page.
Yeah, we can do that, and it'll pop back up. Awesome. Perfect. I think that'll do good for today.
So homework, get registered for November to remember, and tell us what personal development book you're reading.
Perfect. And I already posted a November to remember thing in the group, so that should remind people.
Perfect.
Perfect. Sounds good. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
All right. I'll see you later.
Bye.
All right. Bye.